What's going on, gardeners? We're back with another one, and it is a beautiful mid-April Midwestern day here, and it's April 15th to be exact, tax day, and it's a beautiful sunny day. And today we're going to be putting some work in out here in the vegetable garden. If you're like me, you like to make your gardening chores as easy as humanly possible, either so you can get it done quick or so you can automate it so you don't have to worry about it as much, so you have time for other things like family and vacations and and whatnot, haberdashery or whatever you want to call it. But today we're going to be setting up something that I've been wanting to set up for a couple of years now. I saw it was a beautifully thought out system, and I think I'm going to try it out today. So what we're going to be going into is we're going to be putting up some hydroponic strawberries. If you're into strawberries and you're into fruit, stick around. This is going to be a good one. The system that I'm going to be talking about today is the rain gutter grow system, which kind of surprises me because it's really not a rain gutter. It's actually the downspout from the rain gutter, but nonetheless, the rain gutter grow system. Now, I saw this used in a few different locations on YouTube. Shout out to all the people who've used the rain gutter grow system. Too many to list. I've seen multiples, but beautiful systems. Now, I'm going to integrate this to a system that I saw. I can't really remember the channel to shout it out, but I'm sure you can find them. This is going to be very interesting. This is going to provide a dual root zone for these strawberry plants. Now, this worked perfect when I saw it. I cannot wait to see how it works out for me. So let's get started. Here is a downspout, aka rain gutter, for the rain gutter grow system. And I've got this measured out to where I want it. And I'm just going to place it right in front of this bed here to utilize as much space as I can. And you can see it's just completely boxed in. It's not an actual rain gutter. This is just a downspout. This is vinyl, not metal. I find it's a lot easier to work with the vinyl than it is the metal. I'm also building another hydroponic system using these. Different video, different story. We'll get to that in a later video. But I want to place out where I'm going to be putting these for the hydroponic strawberries. We've got one back here, which is level. We're going to have one right here, which is going to be level with this one. We're going to have one right here in the front. And at a later date, I'm going to install one here in front. And this one right here is going to be hooked up. But in this video, this side right here is not going to be getting hooked up. For now, I'm just going to hook up this one, and that one. And we're going to get a bunch of strawberries planted. I've got about 35 strawberry crowns. Let's get after it. And I almost forgot to mention, guys, this system is going to be utilizing some very, very clever 3D printed practical prints that I've printed off on my Bamboo Labs P1S 3D printer. If you have a 3D printer as well, you can build yourself this system. So let me show you how it's done. It's been a few days. Kind of got rained out for 3 or 4 days there, but nonetheless, we're back at it. Here are the parts we're going to be needing for this strawberry build. Drill with a 2.5-inch hole saw. This is just a cutoff tool, a little DeWalt cutoff tool. You don't have to use DeWalt, but you can use anything that you can use in place of this. You can use. You'll see what we're use that for coming up. You're also going to need 1/2-inch float valve and a couple of pieces that I've 3D printed end caps. This one has a hole in it so that we can continue on our water, continuously feed on to the next daisy chain, so to speak. And here's for our float valve. This is the end cap, and our float valve is going to go right into that. These need to be siliconed in, so here we have some silicone. There it is. I do have these measured out and marked every 8 inches. That's what I'm choosing to do for these strawberries. And right here is where it's going to be cut for our float valve. Now I'm just going to run a cut line down that and a cut line down the back side here to give room for our float valve to work. And I'm just going to silicone the edges and then just stick it on. Let me show you how I do this. First thing I'm going to do is use my cutter. That should give us enough room for our float valve. Now we move on to drilling our holes. Start regular and in reverse. Nice clean cut. Just keep moving down the line. And there you have it. Moving on, we need to take our end for the float valve. Take your float valve, and it should be a very tight fit. Should be just enough to screw it in. And keep the washer on the inside. There you go. That's what it looks like. This faces down. There you have it. Goes on just like that. Lifts up. Nice. Okay, so let's get some silicone on here so we can get these two together. There we go. Silicone is in. Pinch it together. Now, I want to get a stick to prop these open. There we go. Now let's work on the other end. Same thing over here. Grab our end, apply our silicone, stick it on the end. There we go. Now I want this hole to be downward on the bottom side, not on the downward side. That way gravity fed water will come out of this onto the next one. That way the daisy chain effect will actually hopefully work. Let's stick it on and see. Give it a move around so nice contact. There we go. Now put it in place and we just let it dry. Then we'll move on to the next step. Now the next part we're going to be using a vacuum sealer. But we're not going to be using it for the vacuum part. We're going to be using it just for the sealing part, because we're going to be using this. This is a 6-inch poly tubing. If you can see, it's already it comes pre-rolled, already sealed, ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to seal off one end, measure the distance of our actual gutter, the grow area that we're going to be using, minus the float valve area, and we'll cut it off. We'll fill it up with cocoa core perlite mix, and we'll seal off the end, making one large 8-foot, 8.5-foot grow bag. Pretty amazing stuff. Get this online. You can get it at I think Uline is where I got this at. Moderately cheap. I think I got this for 90 bucks, 80 bucks or something like that. And this is a huge roll. This is way more than I'm ever going to use. So, but just in case I want to use it, I guess this is the smallest roll that I could find. Let me show you how it works. So it looks like the size of the roll that we need is 104 inches. So I'm going to lay out 104 inches. So here is my 104 inches of tubing. Or wait, turn this to operate. Or put it up. Let that seal. And I'm going to do it again. As a double seal. All right, you can see. Nice and sealed up. Ready for our grow medium. Now this is strictly a cocoa core. Perlite. That is all this mix is going to be. Cocoa perlite. These are going to be hydroponic strawberries. All of our nutrients are going to be fed from underneath due to capillary action. That's our mix. Now I'm going to take, this is our sealed up end right here. I'm going to take the opposite end. Now this is tedious. Make sure you get it as tightly compact in there as you can. I want my strawberries to have as much grow medium as they can possibly have for the space that's available to them. There we go. Now, we seal it up. Double seal. And there you have it. This should provide more than enough grow media for our strawberries. Now, we need to make 2 more of these, and then we can install them. Got all 3 of those made. We got 2 long ones, and one just a little bit shorter. Pretty cool little grow bag there. Now you could use this for anything you want. You don't have to use it for strawberries. You can use this for herbs or not really fruiting plants. Fruiting plants are going to need a little bit more grow area. I mean, what I mean by fruiting plants, I mean like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, things like that are going to need a little bit more. Cucumbers, things like that. They're going to need more than just that. Strawberries, they don't need that much area to produce actual strawberries. Pretty awesome. Pretty excited to see. Now let's get into the watering. 275 gallon or 1,000 liter IBC, fed by my rain gutter back there. Comes down, it gets fed, or it disperses into a filter, which feeds into my nutrient reservoir. Now this nutrient reservoir only gets turned on when it needs to be refilled, this is where I will be mixing in my strawberry nutrients as well as the other 2 that's going to be going there in a future video. Here's where it will be fed from, and it's just going to come down and travel over. It's going to eventually travel here and then travel down, but for the time being we're just going to have it travel straight down to our float valve so we can go ahead and plant these strawberries. That way we can get them going. All right. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Can't wait to get this whole thing set up. That's what's next. We just need this silicone to dry. I almost forgot to explain to you guys how those bags are actually going to be working. If you can see, there's the 2.5 inch holes are drilled. Right here is what we're going to be using. These are 3D printed. This is a grow spike. This is going to allow wicking. I'm going to run Oramerk or wicking material from up one side through the hole down into the other. That's going to allow capillary action or wicking to happen. So we're going to have these all throughout here. We're going to lay down our grow bed onto it, stick it down to make sure these are protruding into the bag itself, and the reservoir from underneath should keep the grow bag good and moist for the strawberry plants. No need for watering as long as this reservoir stays topped up, which it's already watertight. I've already had water in it, no leaking, and it's going to get fed from that one, which that one is going to be in turn fed from that one. Pretty good. Grow spike. Not bad. And the wick just dangles down into here, soaks up the water, and disperses the water into the grow medium. Not bad. So I ended up getting this. This is 3/8" braided cotton rope. This is going to work as our wicking material. Very cheap. I think I picked this up at a hardware store or Lowe's, one or the other. I can't really remember. I've had this for a while, but this is what we're going to be using. And the plan is to use our spikes here. We're going to run up through one end into this hole, and then feed it back through. And there we have our wick. So I'm going to do this times, I don't know, 50, 60 times. Each one of these gets 2. There's 10 of them, 10, so I get 30, about 60 times I got to run this. So let me get that done. Well, it's been a few days. We had a few thunderstorms come in back to back. But I got out here this morning, got this line ran, got it hooked up. Everything's good. Still is a drip. I need to get Teflon tape. I'll go get some Teflon tape from the local big box store. Come back, put some Teflon tape around that to stop a little drip, but the drip's no big deal. The line goes down. What you doing, Burrow? Hanging out? Enjoying it? Oh yeah. But it runs to a T. The T comes into our float valve. Float valve is filled up. That's the shut off. Here are our grow wicks, and if we look, water's filled all the way up. These are super saturated, and I got them all oriented in the same direction. And here's our grow bag. This is the grow bag that I made. It's just full of cocoa and perlite, sealed on both ends using a vacuum sealer. Beautiful. This thing's awesome. So we just lay this on top, give them a little pat. These will protrude through the bottom of the bag and then wick out. Don't push them so hard that it protrudes through the top of the top bag also. You just want it to go through the top or the bottom layer of plastic. I did this to the back too, and it works beautifully. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just going to set this down very easily, just like that. So the object is just barely pierce this bottom, so I'm just going to give it a light little push. There you go. That's it. Now I've got those all oriented in such a way that it holds the bag in place, so you can just move down a line, position it where you want, give it a little tap. That's it. And at the end, they will all be like this. The wicking will start to happen. Then all of this cocoa perlite should be moist, ready to go for our strawberries. So I'm going to get all this done, get this set, let it sit for a little bit, and then we'll see. Last one. Oh, got a little sideways. Bam. There we go. Give them a nice little work. There we go. Strawberries. Should be ready to plant in about 20 minutes. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes or so. Gave this a chance to wick up. And in the meantime, I went ahead and laid my tomatoes out in the orientation that I'm going to be putting them. Put a couple over there, but I don't think I'm going to put those over there. This is how I'm going to have these. Stick around for that video. That'll be out in the coming future. But let's check on. Let's check and see. Okay, so about right. Give it a little. There we go. Let's check it out. Oh yeah. Look at that. It's definitely moist. That's what we want. What is it, bro? Huh? What, do you smell it? Okay, so good news. That means it's been working. So it's time to plant some strawberries. I'm just going to go down, cut an X in, and plant my strawberry crowns. I'm going to plant them about 6 inches apart. They don't need to be too close or too far apart. We'll do about 6 inches. So we should be able to get quite a few strawberry plants in here. Let me show you which ones I'm working with. Here are my strawberries. And these are just strawberry crowns. Goofy dog. But these are just strawberry crowns. There's 25 of them here. And these are 25 Sweet Charlie strawberries. And I also bought 10 of the Mara Dubois. I think that's how you pronounce it. Either way, let's get all these planted. See what we can end up getting this year. Got my strawberry crowns. Bag's ready to go. I'll show you how I do a few of these on camera, and then I'll do the rest. I don't want to bore you with repetitive action, same thing over and over. But that's it. This is the crown. This is where all of your growth is going to be coming from. Shut up. Nice, beautiful roots. Ready to go. Now you don't want to bury this. You want to make sure you do not bury this, or else you're going to have issues. Which just looks like it had a little bit of there you go. Work some soil around the roots. Make sure all of your roots are in contact with some kind of soil. There we go. All right, moving on to the next one. Grab my next strawberry crown. I'm going to pull a little bit of this cocoa perlite out. I packed it a little bit too tight, I think. I'm going to run some roots that way, and I'm going to run some this way. And then I'm going to work that down in there. Make sure to work some soil around. we go. And that's roughly what they look like once you have them in. You can see I did not bury the crown. The crown's right here. The roots are, in fact, down below. So we should get some growth in a few weeks. I'm going to go ahead and finish planting the rest of them. Bring you back when I'm done. Got all them strawberries in. They're all in and planted, as well as back there and over there. So these right here and these right here are Sweet Charlie, and the 10 Mara Dubois are over there. Beautiful. So we'll stick around. We'll see what happens to them in the next few weeks. See if they start taking off. And there are no nutrients in that water as of right now. I just wanted to hydrate this just to get them going. Once I've seen the first signal of growth, I'm gonna empty this out. All I have to do, just to empty it out. Gravity feed will do its thing, or gravity will do its thing for me. So I will empty that out. Then I will fill up my reservoir with nutrient water, which I will go ahead and show you how I plan on doing that. So here is my nutrient barrel. This is going to have rainwater and nutrients. Now this is my IBC, which you can see this thing's bulging out. I got to put the cage back around it. I forgot to put the cage on it and hooked it up, and it filled up with water. Either way, no big deal. It runs down to here. You can see this shutoff right here. That shutoff leads back here to that right there, and that hooks up to this. So whenever I need to, I open that up, and that will allow this barrel to fill. Now it will only fill until it equalizes with this one, which is why I put this barrel lower than I did this one. That way it'll equalize. So right now, if this one was open and this one would be right here. But once I open this up, I imagine they'll probably drop to about right here. That's where both of them will be, which is not bad. That's roughly 3/4 of the way full. And this is pretty much empty. So I probably will go ahead and do that, because I do need to empty this so I can put the cage back around it. Clearly, look at that, bulging. And I will mix my nutrients in from there. The nutrients will just enter into the drips that are actually the float valve system. These float valves, they only allow water in when it drops. When it's up like this, it's sealed. It seals from in here, so it doesn't allow any water. And that's it. Once these plants use up this water, the flow valve will drop, allowing more water to rush in, hence filling it back up until it shuts back off. So, auto refilling hydroponic strawberry system. Pretty great. And we've got the same setup to these two. The only thing that's different is this one right here. There's no back on it where I can empty it. So if I need to, I'll just have to tip this end up and allow it to run back out that. No big deal. This end over here, this one over here, has an end on the end of it where I can open it up. The same as this one. All right. So if you found this helpful, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We got a bunch of stuff going on this year. I always try new stuff. If I see something I like, I try to implement it in any way that I can to use it for myself, to see if it'll work. And I have no doubts that this one's going to work. It's going to turn out fantastic. It's going to yield us a nice little strawberry yield. So, if this interested you, hit that subscribe button, stick around, and hit that bell notification for whenever I drop new content, you get notified. Bunch of stuff coming out. Hopefully this was helpful to you. We got the orchard, we got the tomatoes, we got the nightshades, we got potatoes, we got onions, we got eggplants, we got corn. If you're interested in any of that, stick around. And with that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.